I will be commentating very, very astutely. You sound great with words right now. All right. That was a quick water percent I just had. So we're gonna be looking at Uko versus Elder Xander. Uko definitely the favorite in this this match. No disrespect to Xander, but Uko currently has the third place time in glitchless with a 347, like 58, something like that. He's a very, very strong runner, and he has the third best boogie percent time. So. So it's going to be. I feel Xander might be a little intimidated with his opponent, but it can be anyone's game because I had a race yesterday and I lost, and I think I'm a pretty decent boogie percent runner. So boogie percent is that's the type of category that even having the best time in glitchless or anything, or even boogie percent, can really end up saving you from what Earthbound has to offer. But the things to note about Uko is that Uko has very, very tight movement, very good menuing, a very, very strong runner. So we'll see how Xander can pair up against that. The disadvantage that Uko has is that he does not do unmanipulated on net that often. Because he's such a good glitchless runner, we manipulate on net a lot, which means that we're always a little bit rusty at unmanipulated on net. And some of the decisions we make aren't always the best and stuff like that. So that could play a huge factor here into seeing if Xander can take the lead and win. Getting some drop frames from Xander, but looks like they're recovering. So they have to go and talk to. For those who just joined us, if you weren't here for when I explained this, they have to go and talk to Pokey, and then go back to home, and then go back to bed because you might have school in the morning, and you don't want to miss that, man. Do not want to miss that school. But you're awoken suddenly by knocks at the door. And who could be knocking at this time of night? Obviously, instead of having the mother open the door, who is the adult, it makes sense for the 12, 11-year-old Ness. Ness is real young. Who could be at the door? Let's have my 12-year-old answer the door. Well, it's just a stupid neighbor kid. It's Pokey. Pokey's here to tell you that he lost his brother at the top of when they were checking out the meteorite, because a meteorite crashed. I don't know if you saw. A meteorite crashed and he lost his brother, and his brother's gone. You gotta help me find my brother, man. I can't get him back. What's going on? That's 13. Is that canon? Can you confirm that he's 13? Yeah, so in Japanese he's called Porky. He's called Pokey in the US because that's what Porky. All kids are all kids. Do you mean that all the children in the party are 13, Fizo, or do you mean that all children everywhere are 13, ever, always? All right, so Uko gonna make his way outside. We'll see how Uko plays against this. So there's three types of enemies. It could be crows, which is good. You want a crow here because you can just walk right by the crow. Crow's real dumb. Crow can only move left and right and left and right movements, and you can see Uko using that to his advantage here. But he messed up, and so he tried to get him stuck on the wall. But he de-aggroed the crow, which gave him the ability to move in the other direction. So normally what happens is they swing left and right, and then they'll swing left into the wall or something like that, and then they'll just keep trying to swing. They're not done with their left movement, so they get stuck on the wall. But what happened was that Uko got him stuck on the wall, de-aggroed him, and then re-aggroed him, which caused the crow to be like, okay, I can move right now. This is cool now. Not a problem for me. So Uko got into a crow fight. Xander having a pretty clean hill, though. He's gotten into 0 fights, picking up the bread roll on the way. That'll save him some time later, as opposed to picking it up after. So it looks like Xander's behind right now, but to be honest, they're pretty dead even right now. The only difference is is that Uko is now level 3, coming into the Pogo Punk fight, as opposed to Xander, who will be 1 experience point away. He got into 0 fights on the hill. So Uko has a slight advantage going into Pogo Punk because he's got more HP and more offense. But overall, they're pretty much tied. Xander, he's really far away from the meteorite. You don't want to do that. Do not talk to Picky from the top side of it. Uko's showing off a graphical glitch there. The reason you don't want to be on the top, as far away from the meteorite as possible, is because Buzzbuzz has to go and touch Pokey's head and then move to Ness's head for the text to appear. The farther away you are from the meteorite, the farther Buzzbuzz has to travel. So if Xander chooses to watch this, Xander, please go on the bottom side of the tree, because it takes longer for Buzzbuzz to get to Pokey if you do it this way. So Uko probably gaining a slight lead there as a result. He still has to pick up the bread roll, which Xander already picked up. So it's not too significant of a lead, but it is a lead nonetheless. Yep, never mind. They're like dead even right now. All right, so now they're coming into the Starman fight. The Starman fight is a scripted fight in the sense that you cannot lose. It's impossible to lose without doing an extremely elaborate setup that it is not. For a speedrun, it involves being like level 11 and getting a shield, which means you have to grind on a lot of dogs. Wow, they're like all on the same frame even. So Starman has 4 moves he can do. He can do a Fire Beta, Fire Alpha, Freeze, or Guard. You want Guard. Guard's the fastest one, which Xander got in the first turn real good. Uko, however, got Fire Beta, which is the slowest thing he can possibly do. Buzzbuzz has 2 attacks. He can do a weak or a strong attack. Uko had the strong attack. Xander had the weak attack, although the weak attack still hit for a pretty high damage. So he's going to hope that what Xander needs is for Buzzbuzz to hit for a lot of damage on this next turn. Uko got the 2-rounder. Xander also got the 2-rounder that charged forward to 124, which is actually just enough to kill Starman there. So they both had really nice Starmans and good hills, and they're still like super close right now. It's still anyone's game. So then I gotta talk to Pokey's parents. That's Larna is the wife, and Aloysius was spelled Aloysius. I like pronouncing it phonetically, but it's like apparently it's Aloysius, which both are real stupid names. Let me tell you. I think I've said this before on a commentary stream, not on Speed Gaming, but I think I've said this before. If your name is Aloysius or Aloysius, you have a stupid name. And that's just how it goes. And then Fiesel's gonna kick me off commentary. But it's a ridiculous name. I've never heard of it before, but it's real crazy. I don't think I've ever met anyone named Lardna either. Your grandma's name is Aloysius. Sorry, Fiesel, I didn't mean it. Your grandmother's beautiful. So there's doing some just some exposition here as far as the story is concerned. You get the sound stone, which is meant to record the melodies, which would normally be used for the entire game, but for the purposes of Boogie Percent, it's pretty worthless. It just you need the sound stone to get the first melody, and that's it. So Uko, let's see what type of zoo he has. This area we call a zoo because there can be a lot of animals that spawn on the way. Uko having a really clean one. Xander having an equally clean one. Yes. Oh, there's a snake. So he's going to stutter by the snake. So not clean, but the snake is stutterable. So you can, he got by it. He did the right thing. It's very good that he was watching that bottom tree line because enemies can jump out at you if you're not paying attention. Pigpen is blocking Xander, unfortunately. So you saw Xander doing there is called stutter stepping. So some enemies in this game, several in Onett, you'll see it a lot later in Giant Step, they only move at Ness when Ness is moving. And that they only move on like the third or fourth frame of movement. So if you tap your controller and only get those first couple frames of movement, like you tap it in rapid succession and you just get those first couple frames over and over and over again, you're able to get by those enemies without them getting as much space on you. And so we call that stutter stepping. And so they both got the Mr. Baseball cap and they equipped it. That's because they're going to be buying the T-ball bat here, and then the baseball cap, and then selling the Mr. Baseball cap. And you see that he bought the T-ball bat, and then he'll be buying the cheap bracelet. And that'll give him 12 defense. Uko, meanwhile, already done with the shopping. He's going to pick up the can of fruit juice here for safety, and then fight this Pogo Punk. You'll see what Xander here is doing. He's walking to the left. He's going to walk to like this left side of the hospital, and then walk like this. It's a little bit out of the way, but what it does is it guarantees that there's no sharks spawning, except for this guy who's an NPC. He's set there. We want to fight him because we need the experience. So we'll be fighting him. We're hoping he doesn't charge forward, specifically for Xander. Xander saw that the first turn wasn't a charge forward, so he auto-fought, and he's 1 HP short of killing it. But he still had a pretty clean first Pogo Punk. Only got hit once. So he's going to be going into this next Pogo Punk. We'll see if he picks up the can of fruit juice. He doesn't have to. I think he could probably go in and be safe. Yeah, he's just going in. So he's just going to go in and get to fight the second Pogo Punk. This one you can't skip without doing an elaborate setup. So we're seeing if he can get through it. Meanwhile, Uko is fighting the Yes Man Jr. Yes Man Jr. a lot less threatening than the Pogo Punks. Xander having another decent Pogo Punk, only getting hit once. And he's probably going to go into this Yes Man Jr. and without healing. Ideally, you want to use the bread roll, and that's it, to heal yourself to full before Frank. That's kind of the goal of the bread roll. So meanwhile, Uko, every time you get hit by Frank, you're going to want to heal. So you'll see him, he's doing auto fight and then un-auto fight to heal. And so he's hoping for empty turns. He got one. Nice. So Frank down, and Uko with a pretty clean Frank. It's about average standard Frank fight. Xander's starting his Frank fight right now. Unfortunately, getting some drop frames, so it's a little hard for me to tell. Frankenstein, every other turn he will blow off steam. He is a machine, and that's how he works. Xander getting he's probably one hit away from dead on that Frank. That smash from Uko is real clutch, and that shortens that Frankenstein fight quite a bit. He's on a really good pace right now. 13-12 or so he took down that Frankenstein. That's really strong. Meanwhile, Xander getting past Frank. Aiden is on his way to Frankenstein now. He's going to be doing the same thing. Uko on a very strong pace right now. He's going to go back into the arcade and then back outside. He wants the full heal from Frank. And then he's going to make his way to the town hall. We'll see how Xander getting a smash on Frankenstein. There we go. He says you get a smash, I can get a smash too. And so he should be dead in this next 2 turns. He's just going to auto fight, even if yeah, he's dead on this turn. Whoa! That 11 damage, he's probably, what, 1 HP away from killing him. But he got the double smash just in case. So Xander, this is also a pretty decent pace. You know, anything sub 14 Frankenstein is a strong pace. And so Xander's having a pretty good Onett. Uko having a better Onett. But they're both playing very, very well. And if you don't know, there's a grinding section coming up, which is unfortunate for reviewers because grinding isn't exactly the most riveting thing to watch. But the grinding section is where you can gain or lose the most time just based on, do you get the enemies you need to grind off, because you want slugs and not mice. So if Xander has better slug luck, he can pull ahead here. He's not crazy far behind Uko or anything like that. And also there's the amp death to worry about. We saw how it affected Flesh in his race. If Uko dies to Ant, which doesn't matter how good a runner you are, you're not immune to an Ant death all of a sudden. Xander could take the lead. So we'll see him. We'll see what happens here. Uko withdrawing money from the ATM, and he's going to be using it to buy burgers. These burgers are for safety on Titanic Ant, because Titanic Ant is a jerk. So I think he had to use one burger on Frank. So he's going to be buying 6 burgers here. So that's 3, 4, 5, counting. Oh, he didn't use a burger. So you only need 5. I thought he used a burger, but I was incorrect. So you only need 5. Uko now making his way to Giant Steps. Xander now making his way to the drugstore to withdraw. Taking this little roundabout method. This is technically slower, but not by very much, so it's not a big deal. He just goes straight to the ATM. And we'll see how Uko does on slug grinding. You need 22 slugs to get to level 8, which is the goal. Here he finds a first pack pretty quick. So that's 4 slugs already. 4 slugs out of 22. Let's see if he auto fights. I don't like auto fighting in this first pack because your offense is not quite high enough to one shot these slugs. So slugs have 30 HP. Ness, his offense does not guarantee a hit of 30. There's a chance he hits for 26 or misses. And he's missed twice already for Uko. So Uko probably a little annoyed by that. Ness misses a lot. It's just by the pure amount of times we're attacking, misses are just going to be very common. This is how it works. But you saw there an example of a slug not being killed by the bash. It did 27 damage. You saw Uko healed there because he was afraid of dying to slugs like Skateman did the other day at a marathon. Xander finding a quick pack of slugs too. Uko now finding his second pack. Xander, though, that's a 2-pack, so he's 2 out of 22 now. I wonder if that pack got broken up into 2, or if that was legit just a spawn of 2. We'll see. But Uko now, this is his second pack. It puts him at 8 slugs. Yeah, it was just 2 packs into 2. So this is 4 packs for Xander. This is unfortunately a little slower, having them split into 2 like that. But he does have 4 slugs. Uko's at 8. So Xander not too far behind. Uko taking a lot of damage from slugs. Let's see. Uko is going for this method of spawning. Here we go. He finds some slugs. Xander having a little trouble finding some of his own. This puts Uko at 12 slugs. Xander finding his second pack. So Xander now at 8. Uko at 12. So they're about a slug pack apart. Which is not bad. This is still anyone's game right now. But Uko getting some decent slug luck. Getting hit a lot by slugs, though. He's probably not thrilled about that. So Uko walking back and forth here. I think he's trying to feel for lag. Because if there's a lot of enemies on screen, you'll feel the lag, and he's looking for slugs that way. This could end up taking a while for him, potentially, and Xander might be able to find his 12-pack before Uko. We'll see. Xander stuttering away from some mice. There we go. Uko found his last 4-pack. So this puts him at 16 slugs. Xander found 1. He's at 9 slugs now. Just a lone slug just hanging out. That kind of throws off the slug route a little bit, because generally you want 16 slugs and then go to the top and fight a 6-pack. But now Xander's at 9 slugs. So he's 1 slug ahead of that, like, math. It's not a huge deal, but it is irksome when they don't spawn in the full packs. So you see Uko here. He's going to make his way to the top now. Slugs can spawn on the second floor too, but also so can Antoids. See that single one down there? That's an Antoid. Antoids are terrible. You do not want to fight Antoids. They will kill you. So Uko, this is a tight stutter if he goes for that. He's pulling it towards him, and then he's going to go around it. And then he's hoping there's a 6-pack up top. Xander, meanwhile, finding a 4-pack. Oh, there's one right there. He's just got to fight it. He didn't stutter on the rope itself, so this is a slug and Antoid fight for Uko. This Antoids have 34 HP, so he's just 3 short of killing it, but he outsped him, so crisis averted on that front. But now Uko is at effectively 18 slugs now. Xander now at 17 slugs. He had that 4-pack and just found another one instantly. So Uko looking for a 6-pack here. He's hoping to close this out, but maybe Xander finds all the slugs and makes his way to the top before Uko can find the fabled 6-pack. Or is Uko just going to start fighting Antoids? We'll see. We'll see what he decides to do. Eventually, you hit a point of where you cut your losses and start risking killing Antoids, and I've definitely done it myself. I'm not sure if Uko has. And now we see Xander getting red swirled by mouse. So mice have like 205 guts or something like that. It's some obscene number. But they smash a lot as a result. They smash like all the time. So you smash twice in a row. Seems unlikely, right? Well, not when your guts are like that obscene amount. So Xander probably going to heal after that fight. But he finds his last pack of slugs, I believe. This should be it. He was at 17, 18. This puts him at 22. The mouse counts as a slug as far as XP is concerned. So this, I think, puts Xander at level 8. I think if my counting is not wrong, which it could be, because, you know, whatever. But I'm pretty sure this is what Xander needed. He just needs to make his way to the top now. Yep, and that's Xander's level 8. And so both of them hitting level 8 at the same time. The difference is that Uko's already at the top. So he just has to walk into that door, get the butterflies, and go straight to Ant. And so he needs these butterflies to restore his psychic points. Xander now just needs to get to the top and get to where Uko is. But he's not super far off. I mean, he can get there. I don't know if Uko checked his offense, but it looks like his offense is not high. I mean, your offense isn't high enough. You can't auto-kill 2 Antoids to begin with. But Uko, confident in his stuttering, stutters around them. He could have stuttered that, but he didn't want to risk it, which is fair enough. You can stutter past this one. If he's stuttering past that one, his offense is almost for sure 23. If you don't have 24 offense, you cannot auto-kill slugs, Antoids, I'm sorry. And so you have to stutter around them, which puts your stuttering skills to the test because it's pretty tight to stutter like this. But Xander, I think, is Xander going for level 9 struts? Is he looking for a 6-pack? Does he know he's level 8? Uko getting the rocket on the first turn, 113, which is 7 away from the maximum. Getting hit for 24. He's probably going to heal here. Yep. And then do a second rock-in. So Ant has 235 HP. So 84 plus 113. He's about 2 hits away from dead. So Uko just auto-fighting there. He's dead this turn. He could have risked it, but he's just playing it very safe. Uko having a really clean Ant. Xander not with a 24 offense, but he still gets through it. So Uko with a 23-0 something Ant. I see to scroll my thing. 23-08, I believe it was. That's a strong Onet pace. It's like a 27 Onet pace, which is really good. Xander doesn't have 24 offense, so he takes this Antoid fight. I don't really agree with it, but he's getting lucky on his damage rolls. So he's getting through these fights quick. It's tough. Oh, he red swirls himself. That's unfortunate. We'll see if he gets hit. He does. He's gonna have to use a burger before this before a Titanic Ant, and the Black Antoid lighted himself up, put himself back at full HP. All right, Xander getting through those Antoid fights. Xander, I guess not confident in a stuttering game. He's just trying to get through it. Uses the cookie. He's gonna need to use a hamburger. Wow, he's crazy. This is an insane move from Xander. I would 100% never do this in my life. You always want to be at full HP before going into Ant, but I guess he feels he needs to risk it. So 63 HP, it's an okay amount. He gets hit for a weak amount, which is good. I would probably use a life up instead of a burger on this next one, but he'll probably end up using a burger. Yep, there's the burger. Gets hit for 40, all right, and so he's at 50 right now. He's dead. He's at 3 HP now. If Ant does anything except... Yep, he's dead. So that's why you don't do that. That's why you don't do what Xander just did. And you cannot risk Ant. That's two times today. Ant has done the same thing to two runners who have tried the same risk. Do not mess around with Ant. Do not let him. You really need to be at full HP if you're going to be doing a rockin'. It's super risky otherwise, and you're putting a lot on the line, and unfortunately, it's not worth it. You're just going to die. Ant does not mess around, and you really cannot risk it like that. You got to be at full HP. You got to know, hey, I'm not at full HP. This rockin's too dangerous. You really need to be able to make that decision making. It's too risky otherwise. You can get away with it if you're lucky. If you're lucky, you can get away with it, but it's so inconsistent, and Ant is so prone to just hitting a lot. And there's another race where an Ant death is probably going to spell the end of it for the other racer, which sucks. It really sucks. Meanwhile, Uko's starting on Cops. So Cops have two attacks they do. A weak attack and a strong attack. The weak attack just says attacking, and their strong attack is called a crushing chop. You want weak attacks as much as possible, or for them to miss, or for an S to smash. He got a burger, which is a 1 in 16 drop, which is nice. So it's like the burger he used never even happened. Oh, Uko, he's probably dead here unless he outsped him. What a luck sack. He definitely made a mistake there, but it worked out for him. He definitely lucked out on that. He should have died. Realistically, if the cop outsped him, he would have died, but he outsped the cop, and so he's still in it. But he definitely messed up and knows it too. He probably knows I'm talking about him. This is why I don't like doing this auto fight thing he's doing. I don't particularly think it's just it causes stuff like this. You're saving a couple frames for and hiring the chance of stuff like this happening. So Xander, unfortunately, not very confident of stuttering, gets into an Antoid fight on his way back up. Uko using a life up. So he's used 2 life ups. He wants to save 20 psychic points for strong. Because he wants to do the double rocket on strong, which is the fastest way you can kill him, and the most effective way, really. 78 HP is a safe amount, unless strong smashes you, which has happened, and can happen, and always have to be aware of it as a possibility. But it's such a rare possibility that I don't expect Uko to play it safe. I expect the rocket on the first turn. Wow, he's playing it safe. What a baby. Okay, so he's doing the rockin'. We're looking for a 70 damage here. 91, that's more than enough. So now this rockin' only needs to hit for about 50 something, but it hit for 83. So strong down, 2750 something on net. It's a really strong on net. It's a good on net time. Uko in the chat feeling bad because he overmatched twice and lived, but I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes you get good luck as well as getting bad luck. So Uko on his way out. I mean, we see Xander making his way back up to Titanic, and he's still got to heal his psychic points. Uko has a ton of burgers. I don't expect him to get this burger on the way out. I think Uko started doing the walk to get the exit mouse and then realized what category he was playing in. Yeah, he's just gonna. He has so many burgers. There's no reason to get that burger in the present. So he needs to avoid these mushrooms. Mushrooms have a small aggro radius. That's why you saw him squeak by that one. So he knows really well what the aggro radius is, and so he can avoid it pretty adeptly. Xander, meanwhile, he got into a fight with 2 Antoids, and I think he used a rocket. I don't see him get a butterfly. If you don't, you can't get the butterfly coming out of the other side of that door. Butterflies can only spawn coming out of this door. But if you're out here already, you can actually just walk to the far right of this upper cliff area, like by those trees, and it'll respawn a butterfly like that. So you actually don't have to go in and out of the cave unless to spawn a butterfly. You just need to go to the far right, and they'll spawn that way. Now Xander getting a clean walk to ant now. All of a sudden, there's no antoids in his path. So Uko withdrew a bunch of money and is going to be giving food and $200 to Apple Kid, but I want to focus on Xander here. Xander going into his second ant fight. He is level 9 right now, which is a lot safer. You have 3 Rockins as opposed to 2, so we could see a triple Rockin here. 69 HP is an okay amount of HP, but oh, he used the cookie. The cookie. All right, well, you better rock him now. Yeah, he got magneted, so the triple Rockin's out of the question, but those 2 Rockins hit for about 180 damage in total. That magnet's going to negate that life up, which sucks. So he's going straight to burgers. Gets hit for 38. That's not good. I would heal again. Oh, he's going for the bash. All right, it worked out. It worked out. 62 is kind of in the safe range. So Ant's taking about 190 damage. About 2 more hits should take him out. But the smash is going to seal the deal. So Xander getting through Ant, probably not as fast as he'd like, and with a lot of just probably a lot of heartache involved. But he got through it, so he's on his way to the next part of the night, and he's got a lot of burgers, so he doesn't have to buy extra burgers on the way to cops anymore. Uko, meanwhile, he's trying to get through these caves to set the trigger the next event. And so the next event is you have to load the iron pencil into memory. So if you know this game, you know there's an iron pencil blocking your path. If you don't know this game, there's an iron pencil blocking your path. You can't get past it otherwise. But we just need to load it into the game's memory, and loading it into the game's memory doesn't even mean that like you have to visually see it. So Uko walks just far enough upwards to load it into the memory. We don't even see it, but we know that we've loaded it just because we've tested it. Uko testing the UFO, thinking it's not going to swing into him. It did. His 69 HP is gone now. These UFOs have like 50-something speed. They're nothing to mess around with. It's using a burger for safety. I definitely agree. Missing the UFO. That's the speed talking there. And missing again. He used the receiver phone. Oh, you can't make calls on that. It's a receiver phone. Only receives phone calls. And now he's got a cold, and he does not have enough psychic points to heal it. So now that he has a cold, in battle, he's gonna bleed 4 HP every turn. But he's out of battle, so everything you might see his screen start flashing red sometimes. He's taking 2 damage every single time the screen flashes red like that. So it's like poison damage that happens on the overworld. So he's taking 2 damage every single time that ticks. It's hard to see sometimes on streams because the flash like occasionally won't show up just based on like the frame rate and bit rate stuff. He's looking for a butterfly here, like he really needs one because he needs to use a healing to get rid of the status ailment. So now he also has to life up. So now he's puts himself back at full HP. Meanwhile, Xander's starting cops over on the other screen. We'll see how his cops go. He's got plenty of burgers, so hopefully his cops he gets some good luck, maybe some other burger drops or some smashes and some misses from cops. That's what we want to see there. Uko realizing there's some dogs and cops over there. That dog still wants a piece. He doesn't want to despawn, so he's got to go even further to despawn, and Uko losing a little bit more time. Xander starting his first cop, getting the weak hit. Then he starts with the crushing chop, but it missed. It's exactly what he wants. But that crushing chop hit, but that's okay because he gets through this cop. He's going to use a burger on the next one. That's actually a pretty solid first start for a first cop. Uko getting the pencil eraser, so that's what's going to erase the iron pencil blocking your path in Peaceful Rest Valley. And so Uko needs to be careful though still because he needs to not test UFOs and their movement. So we'll see how he does. Once again, also he can't get into any fights or anything else. He needs his HP and psychic points to be at full going into Happy Happy Village. Meanwhile, Xander getting smashed by a cop, but he was already healing with the burger, so it's real good that he was already doing that. But unfortunately, this cop is being real ruthless. He hit him, he smashed him, he chopped him, hit him a bunch, and Xander not having as much burgers as I thought. Either that or he's just had to use quite a lot of burgers. He's only on the 3rd cop. You need to get through 4 cops and strong. So he's going to have to start considering using life ups pretty soon. He's got 3 burgers left. The crush and chop's not helping him at all. Another crush and chop. Going to use another burger here. Nest missed, which is not what you want to see. And he used the burger here is going to be okay. Another crush and chop, the miss, but Ness missed, so it's basically like nothing happened. And Ness missing again. Ness, come on, they're right in front of you, man. Oh, and smashed again by the cop. Gotta use a life up quick. Gotta use a life up right now. Okay, uses the life up. Not having a good time with this third cop. This third cop is going beast mode on him. I don't even remember the last time Xander hit this cop because Ness missed so much. He hadn't hit the cop. He hasn't hit the cop a single time. This has been real rough for Xander. This is some bad luck. Finally getting through the third cop. Uko, meanwhile, starting Peaceful Rest Valley. I'm just going to cover... Peaceful Rest Valley sucks. It's a very narrow area, very easy to get pincered. Uko is experienced at Peaceful Rest Valley, so he's going to use his advantage, the terrain to his advantage. But it's very easy to get pincered, much like this, literally exactly like this. But that rock is a good situation to use for getting out of tight, you know, situations where you're pincered and stuff like that. Terrain is to your advantage. So Xander, he goes for that hit. It works out. He doesn't have any burgers. He might... I would recommend foregoing using the life up. Get one rock in, and then you bash it out for the rest. So I really, really hope he doesn't risk it. Oh, he's risking it. He's risking it. You know what? You know what? I said I hope he doesn't, but he's making the hard calls right now. He's the one in the driver's seat. Is it going to work out? It does. Xander gets through the cops. Well, really unlucky cops, but man, he really pulled through. That was good stuff to Xander. I mean, I'm really impressed. He took the risk, but it paid off, and I'm really. It's probably not something I would have done, but it's probably because I've been burned so much by Earthbound. But Xander, I think he realized if he doesn't take this risk now, he's going to lose either way. So, really good stuff by Xander. Uko, meanwhile, he gets to PRV pretty clean. He's going into Happy Village now. He's going to be buying a Sandlot bat and a Holmes hat. The Sandlot bat's give him some extra offense, replaces his T-ball bat, and the Holmes hat's give him some extra defense, so that he can survive these cultists that he's about to fight. So there are cultists that are out and about in Happy Village. It is a cult of blue. They love the color blue. It's their favorite. I think Uko checking his inventory. He wanted to see what healing items he has. He buys one croissant, which can bite him in the buttocks if he has some poor car painter luck. But I think Uko is feeling pretty confident about his level of play. So he goes with one croissant. He's going to go into this shack fight. There's a crow right in front of the door, and now he's not trapped, but he's just got to despawn it. He's probably going to walk around on this side, and I hope there's no crows down here. There isn't, so he gets by. So this fight coming up we call it shack fights because it takes place right outside a shack. But it also blocks runs like Shaquille O'Neal, so it's got two meanings. In a bunch of PB attempts, this is a pretty common death point. So it's not a fun fight. In non-manipulated boogie percent, it's okay. You have enough defense to be able to get through it. As long as they don't call for help a lot, it's okay. Uko getting missed by both the cultists. Hits one for 69, nice. Hits the crow for 69, nice. Gets a call for help. One of them succeeds. We got a new contender in the fight. 63, 44, and we're looking for 94 or above. 44 is literally not that. It's actually going to take 2 bashes to kill this guy unless you smash him, in which case it's 1. It's pretty lucky smash. You really don't want to see calls for help. It can get out of hand real quick. They can keep calling for help. They can get all their buddies involved. It can get real bad real quick. So Uko's real lucky they didn't keep calling for help and succeeding. There's one more scripted cultist fight he's got to get through, and they can call for help a bunch. So Uko's not out of the woods yet as far as that's concerned. But he's making good progress. On the way into this cultist house, you're kind of looking for a butterfly. You don't need one. It's just always nice to have one. He's gonna Tokyo drift this dude. You Tokyo drift him. He just drifts off to the side, and you just get away from him. It's real good. It's real good. So Uko, he's gonna talk to all these guys are mostly harmless. They're just like in silent prayer or whatever. But one of them is real mean. This guy right here. Don't go to heaven. He doesn't say go to. He just says don't go to heaven. That's all. Uko auto fighting. Uko doing this auto fight stuff to save frames. It probably ends up saving some time in the end. But there's the boy. There's his homie. He's got a new friend here. And there's the other one. See how I said it gets out of hand real quick? Well, it's already starting to get out of hand. Uko using the life up, and now he's got two boys to deal with. He's got who will win, Uko or two boys with the blue brushes? Two blue brush boys. And now he's got a situation where it's getting out of hand real quick. Another call for help. It's not working. All right, this guy, he's probably dead in this turn. He did not call for help, but Uko was probably sweating there a little bit. He lost his psychic points that he would have liked to have had going into Carpainter. You want to have enough psychic points into Carpainter to use a Rockin', but it's more important to get through these fights overall than anything else. So Uko sweating there, probably worried that it was going to get way more out of hand, but he got through it, and it is what it is. So Carpainter, the way Carpainter works is like this. So Carpainter is scripted. So his first turn, he will always lightning. His second turn, he will always life up. His third turn, he's always going to hit you. His fourth turn, lightning. Fifth turn, shield. Sixth turn, hit you. And then he repeats that forever in that order. So he will always do a lightning every, I guess, what, third turn? First turn, and then the fourth turn. So there's a lightning. This will be followed by a shield. He might just die right here, though. Yep, the double reflect. Uko getting some good luck there. The next turn would have been a shield. But Uko got some really good Carpainter luck. Carpainter reflecting the lightning back at himself. I don't even know why he bothers. Well, like, you would get hit once by lightning if you threw someone at, like, if you threw lightning at people, like, that was your jam, right? That's the thing you did a bunch. If you threw lightning at a dude and it reflected onto you one time, you would stop throwing lightning. But Carpainter doesn't care. So Uko having a really clean Carpainter, that was really strong. He lost a lot of time in PRV, I would say, because he was on a pretty strong pace. He had a 27 on net, but a 41-30 something Carpainter kill is about, for like the higher end runners, is about average. Xander having a pretty good walk through the PRV the first time. I think the caves are a little rough, but the PRV section itself was pretty okay. Xander's going to talk to Applecade to get the pencil eraser here. Uko, meanwhile, is going to be picking up Paula, and Paula is the second party member to join our squad. But in Boogie Percent, we're not going to really see much of her unless Uko gets into a fight he doesn't want to get into, and Paula gets some levels. But overall, she's not really useful in Boogie Percent. You see Uko doing some menuing here. He's dropping his defense items because he doesn't need them anymore because we're going to be death warping. So we saved back in Tucson. Xander did it earlier. Uko did it a lot earlier. And we saved back in Tucson. So what happens in this game when you die is the game puts you back wherever you last saved, or at like key checkpoints. But in the case of this stretch, it'll put you back where you last saved, which was Tucson. But anything you did before you died still counts. All those flags stay set. If you beat a boss, it still counts it and stuff like that. You lose half your money. You go back to where you last saved, and that's it. That's about it. So Uko's looking to die off of this mole. This guy is mole playing rough, and its name is. It might not be irony. I think it's irony. He's not very rough. Is the problem. We need him to kill our whole party. Ideally, we want him to start with Nest because Paula can snap him out of. He can confuse himself. Wow. So Uko gets a perfect death warp. Really, really solid death warp. Really good stuff. Sometimes the mole can play not so rough, and this time the mole was real happy to murder the children. Xander making his way through PRV. So far, no enemies in his way, so no pincers so far. He sees an enemy down there. He's probably going to go up because going down would mean certain death. He goes to despawn it, but he doesn't despawn it. You cannot get by that enemy, Xander. So he really needs to despawn it if he intends to go below, which he does. So he despawns it. Really good stuff. Uko, meanwhile, he just has to revive Paula and then go through some story triggers. So we're going to be looking at Xander's PRV here. He's real worried about those enemies up there. He goes up here to despawn it, which is actually smart. It's a good spot to despawn it. He sees a tree down there. He goes up this way to despawn that and go down. Now there's two trees. They're multiplying. He's got to watch out for all these trees. But he finally despawns them. Nice. I don't know how many butterflies he got on the way to 2 PRVs, so I don't know if he still needs 2 butterflies or just 1, but one of the spots he just passed has a pretty high chance to have a butterfly, and he did not get it. So it's real important that you have the 2. There's 1. This one's pretty common. Maybe he has 2. He just didn't want that butterfly. Yeah, I guess he already has both butterflies, so he's just going through it. That was as far as like spawns go, is about average, but Xander played that really well. Despawning in good ways and recognizing what needs to be despawned and how to despawn it. So Xander with a really solid PRV. Uko now, he's gonna go and receive some free money from Everdread here. He jumps off the roof, breaks his ankle, and it's just like, here's money. You have some free money. He also says he can't keep it now anyway, so you take it, which makes it the most suspicious wad of bills of all time. But lastly, Uko's going to take that wad of bills. First, he's going to watch a show, and then free the Runaway 5, which is the show he's going to watch, from their contract hell. So Uko, we saw Uko did. He slid off the building there. There's a photo trigger right in front of that door, and if you slide off the building like that, you skip the photo trigger. There's photographs in this game. I don't know if you know. Oh man, Xander dropped some frames, and as soon as the frames came back, it turned into a crow fight. That's real unfortunate. He didn't take any damage though, so that's good. But yeah, so there's certain spots in the game where if you step on it, a photo will trigger. What that means is that a strange man literally spins down from the sky and is like, "Time to take a photo, woohoo!" And then you're just really confused, and then he takes a photo, and that's it. At the end of the game, the credits shows all the photos, but in a speed run, we don't want that because it wastes 20 seconds. So we use it. We ride off that building to skip one of the photos there, and you'll see Uko do it again when he's leaving the Chaos Theater. So Xander getting into his shack fight right now. We'll see how his shack fight goes. Once again, we're looking for the Rockins to do 94 damage to the cultists. They have 94 HP exactly. And Rockin has a pretty wide range, 40 to 120. Also a chance to miss, which sucks. You see 2 hits, which is, oh, nice. You dodged one, so you avoid taking some damage. 69, nice. 64, 67. Only one of those was nice. But they didn't call for help, so as long as he's both hit, 61, 103 on the second turn, where it matters the least. But he got through it, so that was a clean shack fight. It's about average. Using 2 Rockins is what you'll see most of the time. You want to see it kill one of the cultists so you can save a Rockin, but it's not guaranteed. So you expect to use 2, and that should be your intention. Not using 2 is more of just like, oh, look at that, very nice. More than anything. So Uko now finishing up his Runaway 5 show. He's going to give all that free money he got and give it to the manager over here. Meanwhile, Xander needs to make his way to Carpainter, which means he's got that one more cultist fight. He's got to watch out for the cultists just out and about, though. He goes to despawn it. That's not far enough, though. He's just going to walk into here to despawn it and then see what he can come up with. There's a butterfly up there, completely worthless to him. It'd be better if it was down somewhere he could reach it. Alright, so he's in the cultist house. So Uko making his way out. He's probably wanting this NPC to not be in his way. It was in his way. Giving him a little trouble there. We call him Chad. That's that guy's name is Chad, but there's cooler Chads out there. He's one of the less cool Chads. But there's some cool Chads we know. He's not a very nice Chad. Xander auto fighting on this. A lot of misses from both sides, dude. It's just Ness is just really giving Xander a hard time. And the call for help, it failed though. Nice. So Xander not having the same problem as Uko. He gets through this cultist fight with relative ease. So good stuff to him. And now we'll see how his Carpainter goes. So the reason you can't go to 3 initially is because there's these ghosts in the tunnel. But they hate loud music. Or maybe blues music. Or I don't know. They don't like this bus. Something about this bus, just they hate it. Because a regular bus can't go through, but the Runaway 5 bus can. So Xander Starting card painter now. He's looking for the reflex. No reflex. He's going to rock it on this turn. No, he wants the life ups. He's going to save his psychic points so that he has enough life ups. Oh, he does it on this turn. Okay, never mind. So he's going to save this 5 psychic points. Do not auto fight, Xander. Do not auto fight. Very smart. So he knew he can't heal on a life oh, he's dead. He's literally dead. Oh my gosh, Xander, that was so risky. That was crazy risky. So Xander either did that, either overmatched or did that on purpose and knew it would kill. If you count his health, you know it's gonna kill. If that didn't kill, he was dead. So either Xander is counting the health like you should be, or he got really lucky that hit and killed, because that could have been really bad. But he's got 19 health for the death whip. That's a perfect death whip setup. So I mean, it's working out for Xander. Xander taking some big risks, but the big risks are paying off for him. Yeah, I mean, Ness has been missing nonstop for Xander. To bet it all on Ness hitting, like that's I would never, considering the trend that the run's been given him. Like Ness missed like 89 times. So Uko getting assaulted by some ghosts and zombies, following a strange lady into a hotel. Would not recommend. Definitely one of the things you shouldn't do. And this marks the beginning of Winters for Uko. So Uko is starting this area called Winters. Paula is psychically reaching out to their friend Jeff, who sucks. Winters is a pretty big RNG hotspot. There's a lot. I mean, this run there's a lot of RNG. Winters, there's a lot of RNG that you don't have a lot of control over. It doesn't help that Jeff is level 1. And there's just a lot of factors. One of the other factors is a thing called Bubble Monkey. It's Bubble Monkey. It's a monkey that blows bubbles. But he's adorable in a casual playthrough because he's got a lot of character. And he's like really, like, they did a really good job of making Bubble Monkey like of his movement have a lot of like life and character to it. But in the speed run, it's real terrible because Bubble Monkey stops randomly a lot of the time, and he counts as part of your party. So you really don't want Bubble Monkey to stop and start a fight with something. So we'll see how Xander's Death Warp goes. He's got a really nice HP values, but the mole is doing what I was saying earlier. He's not playing very rough like we wanted to. He's sizing up the situation, which apparently makes you very confused. He's doing defend. I think I probably would have done it, but 19's a little iffy. 16's a safer value. Auto fight, perfect. Oh, 2 people do an auto fight. I love when people do it correctly. Auto fight when you only have Paula is the correct thing to do. It is the fastest possible method. A lot of people overlook it, and I love when people auto fight, and I love that from Xander. So that was a pretty decent death warp from Xander. Not as perfect as Uko's, but all things considered, I think that was still a very good death warp from Xander. Uko now, I talked about this in the last race. I'm going to talk about it again. This is Maxwell. Max is an idiot. I hate Maxwell. Maxwell is the worst person ever. I'm going to say it again. It's probably all the same people here. You're going to hear my rant again. So he gives you a key that's all bent, right? He's like, oh man, it's the key to the locker. Do you want the key to the locker? Opens the lockers. You like lockers, right? You like things in lockers? I got this key. I guess it's a little bent. And then you go and it doesn't work because it's bent. He's like, I guess it was too bent. Am I right? How about this invention though? Like he's just like real hype about it. Like he just wants to hype up his stupid invention when he could have just given you the invention. It would have saved us all a lot of time if he just gave us the invention. So he wastes our time. I freaking hate Maxwell. So this is Bubble Monkey. You see him in the corner there, on the side of this. This is Bubble Monkey. You're gonna give him a piece of gum. He's gonna blow the bubble. He's gonna go straight up. He's adorable. Look at this adorable monkey. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Look at how much personality he has. He stops, starts, looks around. He gets like distracted. That's really like, as far as flavor goes, it's great. It's fantastic. Bubble Monkey is amazing. I don't know what you're thinking there, Uko. I think Uko's just taking this fight just because he wants the safety for Protoplasm. Taking this fight means you get to level 2, which means you get at least 1 HP, which can make the difference. But you got 3 HP, which is even more of a difference. So his Protoplasm fight is going to be a lot safer as a result. But Uko had to have known he was not skipping that dog. Doing that, you can skip it if it was a crow, but not a dog. But like I said, Uko may have taken that on purpose just for the free level up. It's not a bad strat in Boogie Percent. If you're ahead, like if you know you're ahead, and you want the free level up so you don't die to Protoplasm, I don't think it's a bad strat. It's just technically a slow one in the sense that you lose time because of it. So Xander doing the photo skip, gets it. And now Xander's got to watch the Runaway 5 show. Unfortunately, Uko's still with a really sizable lead here. Uko having a pretty decent run. PRV lost him a lot of time. He had a high 27 on that, which is not easy to get. And the PRV UFO shenanigans didn't help, but he had a really solid car painter and death warp, so he's on a pretty good pace. And here's Tessie. Can I get some MS Paint Beast, please, from the chat? I would love as much love for Tessie as we had last time, because Tessie's real great. Look at this. Look at that smile. Let's just watch as Tessie casually glides across Lake Tessie, being steered by a devil monkey. Plus with Tessie is Barney. So one of the things you're going to see Uko do after he gets off of Tessie, he's going to move down left into the wall and then hit down right. This seems like really odd movement considering we could just walk down. But right below the tree line coming up, there's an 100% spawn plate. Literally can't be anything. There will always be a spawn there. But what we're doing is when we move this way, we're spawning this spawn plate at the bottom right of the screen. And for whatever reason, the game doesn't spawn things on the bottom right of the screen. If there's a spawn plate on the bottom right, it won't spawn it. It will never spawn something there. I don't know why this is. I don't know if this is some developer oversight, but that's how this trick works. The way this works is that the spawn plate is on the bottom right of the screen, and we despawn it that way because it never spawns in the first place because it's at the bottom right. It's this weird quirk about how enemies spawn that exists. It's an off by 1 error in the code that checks the spawn tiles. So yeah, so Cerium is like the Earthbound Whisperer. He knows a bunch of little details like that. So Cerium actually has like a mathematical explanation as to why it happens. So all right, Uko having a nice first Protoplasm. That Protoplasm can be real rough. He got the dogfight though, so he had a lot of HP. That's a potential duck skip. Uko thinks it's not, but it really could be. Uko not trusting a lot of duck skips. So he's pulling this duck downwards like this, and so he's gonna walk, and this is a guaranteed duck skip now. It's a little bit of a setup. I mean, we're looking at second proto skip here. If Monkey stops, it's all gone, but Uko gets it, so duck skip and a second proto skip. A slow duck skip, but it's still faster than actually taking the fight, so Uko having a real good start of his winters. Let's see how his Pond Cave goes. He could potentially PB here if he has a really nice Pond Cave. If he stutters Pond Cave, Uko. Just think about it. Think about stuttering the Pond. Stutter that. Real easy. Actually, really, like literally really easy. Yeah, there you go. Now stutter that way. Yeah, go upwards. Stutter to the left. That's right, Uko. You better stutter that. That's for Uko's benefit when you watch this later. So he's playing it safe in the second room. He's despawning. He doesn't want to stutter. You can stutter, and if you're good enough at it, you can get by these. But it's risky, and if you're not confident in your stuttering, then you could end up getting into a fight, and it's probably you'll end up losing time and then getting mad at me for suggesting it. He's gonna go up the top here. It's gonna be tight. Oh, you can't skip that mushroom. I don't think you can get by that one, buddy. And boy, did he prove me wrong. That was real That was really close. He played that really well. I think if he was even like a little bit too far down, he would have aggroed that mushroom further. But that was really well played by Uko. Really good stuff. I mean, I didn't think you could get by that mushroom, and he went for it and got it. So, I mean, really well played. You got to give it to him. Xander having a pretty good graveyard so far. No flies up. Oh, I think he's... Oh, secret fly! So sometimes flies can hide in the tree line. I thought it was free too, but it's going to go for the freeze here. It says something nasty, so this is a free fight. Paula will be gaining some levels from this, so she will have fire for Boogie Tent. So this is the only time you'll see Paula actually being useful in Boogie Percent, is now that she has some levels, she learns a new spell, which he'll be using on Boogie Tent. Meanwhile, Uko having a really nice Winters. He could PB with this. I think this is like 104 pace, I think. Or at least low 105 pace. It's not high 105. My 105.35 had a 100.55. Yeah, it's a low 105. You dumb. That's just Boing. That's my friend Boing. That's why I call him a dumb. I don't think any of you are dumb-dumbs. It would have been Hunter, but I mean, I guess some nerd got world record, so now it's not. World record is 2 minutes faster than this. So Xander getting into the prison, and now he's going to be starting Winters now himself, very far behind Uko. It's going to take a miracle for Xander to come back. Uko is going to need to die to Boogie Tent quite a bit if Xander wants any hope of winning this race. All right, so Uko going to be landing. The Skyrunner does a sweep of 3, and then we'll be landing. Xander, meanwhile, starting Winters. We get to see Maxwell show off his super cool invention that he totally does not give to you in a really stupid and dumb way. But this first part of Winters is still mostly story. So Uko will be landing soon. Jeff will be joining his party, and because of Maxwell's super awesome invention, well, you get to escape the jail, which is like, that's fine that his invention's cool like that. Just give me the invention. Don't bait me with a bent key. I have strong feelings about Maxwell. I could probably write like a paper on why he's a jerk. Jeff somehow not dead after this explosion. But here he is. By the way, you could say no to Jeff here, and he's like, fine, I'll join you anyway. Like, he just forcefully joins your party. There's some real cool text that if you can get. Uko did not turn off his gold split noise, so it has lines from Ghostbusters. So he gold split that, and it went, let me tell you something. All right, so Uko making his way to Boogie Tent. We'll see how his Boogie Tent goes. He's hoping he does not have fire with Paula like Xander does, but realistically for Boogie Percent, what you're hoping for is for Paula to die. But more than anything, you're hoping for Jeff to one-shot Boogie Tent. All right, hit the teddy bear. That's still what you want. 569. The Boogie Tent has like 2 HP left right now. All right, so Boogie Tent down. This is gonna be a PB for Uko. I think it's gonna be about like a 20-second PB. It's looking like a 105.15, something like that. Jeff levels up to level 11 here, so you're looking for. I think he has it as O. You're looking for O to hit level 11 before this level up sequence stops. Yeah, yeah. 105.25. That's a PB for Uko. And he's got the yeah. So now he's gonna be showing us some tent glitch fun. But we'll be looking at Xander for the remainder of this race. Really nice stuff from Uko though. That's still 3rd place, but that's still an insanely strong time. Really, really tough to get times like that. And he had a bad PRV too, so he's got some more time saves. I think Uko can get the 104 and 103 and potentially get a world record. You see Uko here, he's doing a tent glitch. I can explain how this glitch works while Xander's on Tessie. So the way the game works is the map is one giant map, and you just when you walk through a door, the game just puts you on one part of the map to the other part of the map. And this tent happens to be on the far bottom right of the map. It's the far bottom right most point of the map. And so if you shove yourself into this corner and check, you're actually checking an area that's outside the map, which is just RAM. It's just memory. So the game just starts spinning garbage text at you because it's just pulling up random memory from the game. One of the things you can accidentally do is pull up the debug menu. It can also randomly pull up trigger text to warp you around the game. We'll see what happens to Uko. But meanwhile, I want to focus on Xander. If anything happens to Uko, I'll comment on it. But I want to see how Xander's brick road goes. So this first protoplasm, I don't think Xander got into a fight on the way to Tessie, so I think he's got the 30 HP. Yep, he's got 30 HP, so he's hoping for not that. He is hoping for not a call for help. Call for help is really bad too. Now he's got 2 protoplasms to deal with, and it's really rough to get through it. It's not a good situation to be in by Xander. Just getting hit once, not hit twice. That's decent. One proto down. He's probably gonna try and kill this one, and that first turn call for help fail is pretty good. Another call for help fail. He can get through this. He can get through this. If this hits Jeff, do not miss. Come on, Xander. Let's go. Very nice. Good stuff by Xander. Keeping his composure, playing that very well. He got a cookie. He can use it to heal up to 27 HP. I think Uko's going to try and do some bike percent. So that's a potential duck skip right there. He's trying to pull him over. He really shouldn't be pulling him over. Duck skip, getting caught in the bottom little left corner of that crevice there is actually the best possible duck skip setup you could possibly have. But Xander, I think, not fully aware of that. It's one of those things you learn with experience, and also someone kind of like says, "Hey, remember that's a really good duck skip setup." So he had a duck skip potentially, but he stayed so far to the left to try and get the duck's attention that he got it, and the duck moved a little bit to the right. So Xander going for second proto skip. He got by with Jeff like he wanted, but Bubble Monkey wasn't having it. And that's the unfortunate part of Bubble Monkey. Bubble Monkey can stop randomly and will ruin things. But Xander's still playing it very well despite getting all the fights. You know, he did the correct things in the fights. I expect him to eat the boiled egg after the end of this to get to full HP. Eat the boiled egg. Eat the boiled egg, Xander. Xander, eat the boiled egg. Come on, you can do it. Eat the boiled egg. All right, he's not gonna eat the boiled egg. It's fine. If he doesn't get into any fights, it's not a big deal. Uko, meanwhile, it stopped. He forewent the the 3 tent glitch and is now doing cliff skips poorly. I'll rate these as poor. Xander trying to get through Pond Cave. Xander not confident in his stuttering. Now he eats the boiled egg. He realizes he's just going to take this fight. Green swirl for no reason. Welcome to Earthbound. Sometimes you just get green swirls for no apparent reason, but there's no way that Xander is not happy about that. So he's going to use the invincibility frames to get to the rest of this and hope that the rest of this cave is pretty clear. So one of the things that Xander could be doing is if he improved his stuttering, he could be getting by a lot of these spawns that he's encountering over here. Unfortunately, the mushrooms are not being one of them. But Xander's just trying to get a clean area, and that mushroom, once again, is just constantly being a nuisance. But Xander finally getting through it. And unfortunately, he's hoping for these rooms to be empty. And it's not quite working out. He needs this first spot to be empty, and it can take a while. It depends on your luck, and that's it. It's just RNG. Is the second spot empty? It is. Meanwhile, Uko trying to show it's the Buka. Buka is my favorite enemy in the game. I love the Buka. It's the best Buka ever. So Xander, in the last part of Pond Cave, is trying to get through these ropes. He can get by that if he knows about it. Okay, so here's why he didn't get by that. One of the things you want to do is if it's in a situation like that, you want to stay at the top of the rope and then have it aggro towards you and get stuck on the wall before you move. So I said you can get by that, but it was with that assumption, which I apologize for. So one of the things you want to do is if you think that guy's going to aggro you, sit at the top of the rope to the point where you'll get the aggro them, but they'll get stuck on the wall because they're going towards you. What happened there was that he would have been okay if he got stuck on the wall, but since he moved upward, the mushroom curved upwards and got into the fight with him. So that was the unfortunate part of Xander. And so he could have gotten by that had he had that knowledge. I think he thought it would be clean. If you're in situations like that, it's good to check. Oh, green swirl by the Buka. All right, well, Xander gotta start at the beginning of Pond Cave again. It's real rough. Pond Cave gave him a lot of trouble, and we'll see what it can do. This time being pretty clear in this first section. Xander's still not confident with his stuttering. That's one of the things that I think a lot of the new runners struggle with is stuttering. But what makes stuttering consistent isn't like tapping very quickly. Because if you tap too quickly, remember that the enemies move when you move, but only on the 3rd or 4th frame. So if you tap quickly, you can get the first and second frame of movement or whatever. If you do it too quickly, the game never realizes that you let go of the button. So it still thinks you're moving constantly, and so they move more toward you. So there's a rhythm to stuttering to help keep it consistent and within the parameters of what causes them to move towards you. So if you really are curious as to what the rhythm is, you should watch any of the really top runners, and you'll hear their controllers are loud because of how hard they tap it. So you'll be able to hear the rhythm, and it's tough. It's tough if you're new to it, but it's something you got to get used to. Uko trying to show off bike percent in the meantime, which he's kind of like doing several victory laps in a way. It's real disrespectful, Uko. Trying to wipe my boy Xander here. Uko's trying to set up a glitch with the bikes, trying to get a large train of enemies to follow him, and then cause a glitched fight. He needs 10 enemies to do it. After you have 10 enemies following you, if 10 enemies are on screen, the game will stop spawning enemies. So you need 10. He's ringing the bell. Xander getting through Pond Cave that time. A lot better Pond Cave. It's unfortunate he died though. So now he's got 2 people following him. I'm commentating both bike percent and boogie percent. So we got these big boys here, the cave boys. Xander avoided them, but if you're able to get ahead of them, you actually walk faster than them, so you don't actually have to worry too much about it. So Xander going to be starting the Skyrunner sequence very shortly. It's about a 2 minute and 45 second cutscene. So for 2 minutes and 45 seconds, let's just enjoy the sound of the bike. I believe that's 4 enemies following. It's 5 and 6 right there. 7 and 8. Oh, but he did not he's not familiar enough with bike percent to know what to do in this situation. Also, he's probably dead. All right, bike percent's over. Party's over, Uko. You forgot to heal. Yeah, Uko is a musician. For this, I don't know here. So he's jamming out, and Xander is about to be landing in 3. So I apologize for ruining the department store concert, but I would like to finish. I'd like to see how Xander fares with Boogie 10. See how his race ends. So Xander getting Jeff here. I don't know if Xander is going to be able to do the door text skip. So you can unlock the door without the text coming up saying the door is locked if you just open it up from far away. But it's kind of like not intuitive. Oh, he's doing it. That's it. That's perfect right there. Boom. Easy peasy. Good door text skip. So Xander now, he has to watch out for enemies that are out here. If there's any flies, he's got to despawn immediately. No flies, completely free and clear, so he's good. Picking up the teddy bear, and he's going to make his way to Boogie 10. One of the things you got to watch out for on the way to Boogie 10 are any pumpkin kids. Pumpkin kids will rush straight at you, and they're real big jerks, and they're just the worst. And Xander taking... It's not even a safe route to it, because pumpkin kids can spawn all along this way, but... It's literally the slowest way to get there. Actually, this direction is the laggiest part of Threed. So by forcing yourself to go along this way, you're forcing yourself through more lag. So it's actually slower to go this way. We'll see how this fight goes. We're hoping for Jeff to do around 597, around that much. But he's got the fire, so the fire is going to help him out. Jeff died. Oh, that's really bad. He could still win with the Rockins and the fires, though. Oh, he's just going straight to prey. I think 2 fires could still clutch it out. But he's going straight to the prayers. Teddy Bear getting hit. Jeff is dead, so that big bottle rocket is useless right now. You can't use it if you're dead. So praying, this is how prayers work. So there's a couple of different things that can happen. The most likely thing to happen is this subtle light that you're seeing happen, where it gives you I believe it's like 5% of your max HP. And the warm light is about like 10 to 15%. Ness getting hit is a real aggressive Boogie Tank. He's looking for 2 specific things. You want a dazzling light to chase the enemy, which will deal extra damage. Oh, he got some psychic points. He could do more fires. No, he's just going straight for the prayer. I think 3 fires would kill him. One more time. He still has 2 fires. Everyone's feeling strange. It's looking like a Syrian Boogie Tent right now. He flashed himself. The rainbow colored light, that's what he's looking for. So that revived Jeff. Let's hope he doesn't kill Jeff immediately. And then from there, this BBR should kill no matter what, unless they all miss. There you go. So that's the prayer strats. That's prayer has, so there's like a 5 in 16 chance that it's a subtle light. There's a 1 for what he got, the rainbow colored light that revives your party members. That's a 1 in 16 chance for that to happen. And the dazzling light to chase the enemy, I believe, is 2 in 16, or it might also be 1 in 16. But leaving it up to prayer is literally just all RNG, and it's tough to be in that situation. But I mean, Xander got through it. He did a good job. It's real scary when Jeff dies first turn. It's really disheartening, and it does not make you feel very good. But Xander finishing off with a 121.52, which is not his PB. Unfortunately, he had a lot of bad luck this run, and just some things he needs to tune up here and there. But overall, really well played by Xander. A lot of big risks paying off for him, especially Captain Strong and Car Painter. Both of those being really just real tough. He made some hard calls, and it worked out in the end. So good stuff to Uko for winning, but great stuff to Xander hanging in there and also playing really well on top of that. He's got a lot of bad RNG. So I believe there is another race after this, but it will not be commentated by me. I believe there's a replacement commentator I'll be tagging in, who was originally scheduled to commentate. Let me check the document. Yeah, so we're gonna have Kuketsuki versus Erythium coming up next, and I believe Cerium is here to commentate that. Is that correct, Cerium? All right, so I will be signing off, and then the next race will be being set up and will be commentated by Sirium. So thank you all for watching these races. Please stay tuned for this race, though. It's going to be another good one. And good luck to both runners.
All right, welcome everybody to this match against Caillou Ketsuki, or Caillou for short, and Erythium. We're still getting set up here, and the match should be beginning momentarily. My name is Sirium. I'll be your commentator for today's race. So as you can see, we have the players setting up. Erythium has done the optimal strat here. Even before time starts, he's named everything a single character. We actually get down into the business of saving frames. And although the player names are the most important, I mean, we won't even see Pooh in this race since we only go through Boogie Tent. But the dog name, favorite food, and coolest thing can come into play. Every time a rockin' is used, the full name is printed, and since the characters print individually, having anything more than a single character name actually loses frames, and you know how much we care about those frames. What's a Cerium? A Cerium is a Cerium does. What is a Cerium? It's a miserable pile of secrets. So, fun fact, I actually tried to use Cerium as my name, but it was taken, so I became Ceriam. I am. Just kidding, but I really did try that name. Save the frames, kill the animals, absolutely. So, okay, we should be getting here momentarily. Hope you're all ready for a good race. But yeah, we actually do. You may be thinking, well, we don't get the dog, we don't eat any food, and, you know, obviously we have the rockin', but Ness actually does get a whiff of the favorite food at the giant step melody. And I believe Mom tells you to take the dog. Even if you don't talk to the dog, I think the name is still printed. So technically, single character names for everything is still optimal. Poo doesn't matter. I do not like them, Sir I Am. Well, they don't like you either. Just kidding. They love you. Hey, I like them green eggs if we can get them over hard, though, at IHOP, Uka. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I bet if you ask right, you could get some green eggs. They might just need some food coloring. You could actually get green eggs and ham at Universal Studios. They just put food coloring in it. I actually have had green eggs and ham. They're just normal eggs that are green. Ooh. So it looks like we're set up. Looks like they're ready to go.